My name is Sean Thomas, and I'm the author of Be More Today, a 40-day guide to a better version of you. As doctor of physical therapy, I've seen thousands of people do great things. They came to me with ailments, physical ailments, pain, issues, and they got through them, all because they decided in their mind they were going to do it. And I guarantee you, if you just trust the process and be persistent, you too can be the best version of you.
Welcome to the Be More Today show. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our show today. Now, let's hear it from our host, Dr. Sean Thomas.
What's going on, folks? What's going on? It's your boy here, Dr. Sean Thomas, back in the building with Be More Today show. We are back in the building, folks. And we are here still in season 7 of the Be More Today show, rocking out strong as we all continue to nix and fix in 2026. It's been a great time for us this year, going through so many great things. But again, before I talk about anything about the show, Be More Today's movement that's continuing to go and to inspire others to be great in various places of the world. The show is now heard in 139 countries, over 82,000 downloads. Again, thanks for love and support. This show continues to grow. And if you've been a part of the Be More Today journey, you got my book, Be More Today, or Project More, or you've been a part of our Step Challenge, you are a part of the Be More Today family. So any questions about those things, check out BeMoreToday.com for all things related to being more and trying to nix and fix in 2026. You can always find us on Facebook and on Instagram at BeMoreToday.show, BeMoreToday.pt, and your boy here at Dr. Sean Thomas. The show continues to be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And special shout out to our sponsors as always. Spy Belt, the best running belt in the business. Kim Overton, her team does a great job with a great product, putting out Spy Belts, which are great for you to run with, to walk with, to jog with, to travel with. Any questions about Spy Belt or the great products that they have on there, visit spybelt.com and check out your belts today. Run smart, run safe, and run with Spy Belt. You will never be disappointed. Our sponsor, Jack Physical Therapy, the best PT provider in the business, PT, athletic training, occupational therapy, all these great things, over 175 offices in the tri-state area. They are the number one prevention provider for all things that you need to get back to the life that you love. So if you're looking for a PT placed by you, check out jagpt.com and visit our locations today. Again, you will not be disappointed. To our monthly patrons, thank you so much for being a part of the show, for giving to the show every single week. I truly appreciate it. Our quote for today is simple as always. Walking with a friend in the dark is better than walking alone in the light, by Helen Keller. I've had the awesome opportunity to meet a lot of great people on this show. In the last 7 years of doing this show, I've met so many people, almost now at our 200th episode. I've met so many great people and people that I can actually call friends. And the one thing that I will say is that whether you're running a marathon or you're just going through this thing called life, walking with a friend in the dark is always walking better than walking with somebody alone in the light. And we need people with us to get through these challenging times in life. Whether you're training for a marathon, you want someone to just be next to your side as you're going through these 20-mile training runs, or you're just trying to have someone kind of hold your hand and help you through the challenges that life gives you. Walking with a friend always in the dark is better than walking alone in the light. And I have 2 friends on the show today who are, I can call them friends because they really are, but they're just genuine angels in my mind. They work at a place called Camp Friendship. And Camp Friendship is some place that I'm going to have them talk to you a little bit more about, because they have a passion for this place now in its 50th year of giving service back to the Parksville community. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pets included, please welcome to the stage my 2 guests on the Be More Today show today, Astri and Lisa. Ladies, welcome to the show today. What is going on?
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, great to be here, Sean.
No problem. Listen, I am so happy that you guys are on the show. We cross hills and high waters to make this happen, and I'm glad we made it happen today. But I really wanted to make sure we got this done because Camp Friendship is a special place for me. Literally, I go to a church down the street from you guys, Kingsborough Temple, literally on 7th Street between 6th and 7th Avenue. And I always just saw lines on the corner across from us, lines around the block of people just in line, either getting food or getting items, never knowing what was happening. So, I walked in one day and literally, I think I spoke to you, Lisa, or you, Astri, just asking, I was like, hey, my name is Sean. I go to church down the street. How can we help? And since then, which was a couple years ago, we've invited you guys to be honored at our church. We've had a number of our Spartan Sunday Run Club people come and help to volunteer at Camp Friendship. We've had some of our church members come and volunteer at Camp Friendship. We've had this great opportunity to bond over the last 3 years. So I wanted to make sure, as we now celebrate your 50th anniversary, that we had you guys on the show just talk about the great services you guys provide, the great work you've been doing in the community, and what makes Camp Friendship so special. So thank you so much for being a part of the show. I really, truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Well, let's
you.
just get into it. Listen, I have so many questions. I want to start with you first, Lisa. How did Camp Friendship get started?
Well, this is a very good question because we have many different answers. Because none of us was there in the 1970s. So the story that we know about began in 1973. A group of Park Slope parents wanted to raise money to send children to a summer camp. Local kids who couldn't afford camp could go to camp. So then they realized that a summer camp really wasn't enough. So in 1976, they started doing year-round programming, after-school programming, team sports, weekend programming, started mounting a baseball team, a basketball team. Then they added tutoring, homework help, academic things, and art. And that went on for years and years. And then it sort of slowed down when Park Slope became a more affluent neighborhood and people went to fancier camps and had fancier after school programs. So it became, I wouldn't say moribund, but it wasn't providing those kinds of programs until the pandemic, when the board president said, there's so many people lining up at different food pantries. Since Camp Friendship is open, it's a huge gym, and the school that usually uses it wasn't there, or the nursery school that uses it as an after-school program wasn't there. It was the pandemic. So we started a food pantry, and this was in June of 2020. And there was a little notice on some Facebook group. My minister, I go to a church right down the street as well, said, oh, you would really like to do this. So I showed up, and that was the first day. We had no idea what we were doing, no idea how to get food, how to advertise. So that was the beginning. And somehow we ended up succeeding in getting food, in letting people know, in figuring out how to provide the food. And now we're 6 years later, and we have a very well-functioning food pantry that operates every Saturday. And I'm sure there are many other things in there because we just did 50 years in 3 minutes, but
That's wild. The only reason why um, I really knew about Camp Friendship is because we saw the lines of people literally every single Saturday. And I was like, what is happening over there that is causing so many people to come and want to be a part of what's happening around the corner? And the fact that for the last 50 years, you guys have been doing this and providing food to those who are in need, it's a blessing. It's a true testament at what I think, friendship and really, camaraderie and community really is supposed to be about. So I'm
but
always floored.
that's not all. I mean, I minimized what's going on now
Tell
because
me everything.
we have Astrid, you probably want to talk about this. The youth program started up again 2 years ago. It was a miracle.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say happy 35th anniversary to Kingsborough Temple.
Oh,
Oh
We're
yeah.
having a
Oh yeah.
milestone
That's
this
big.
year, so that's really nice.
thank you.
Yeah, I mean, Camp Friendship was it was originally, as Lisa said, it was to provide for underserved youth, which was a big part of Park Slope, the population in Park Slope. And the founder, John Duda, was actually a teacher at PS 321. And that's where he found the need for it to start. And through the summer camp and all the kids programming, like Lisa said, it kept becoming, smaller and smaller, but still robust, because one of the important things that we discovered when we started the food pantry is that a very high percentage of people who come to our food pantry live in Park Slope.
Mm.
So yeah, they're from the 11215 zip code. And so we were also surprised, and it was a very important thing to learn that while we all see Park Slope as a very gentrified neighborhood, it actually continues to house people who have been living there for the past 50 years, who are still sort of hanging on. But a lot of them were also, they had sent their kids to Camp Friendship back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, when there was still very much a need in the neighborhood. And those kids today are adults, many of whom still live in the neighborhood and feel very connected to Camp Friendship, which was a totally different time than when Lisa and I arrived
Yeah.
for the food pantry. And so it's an interesting community, Camp Friendship, because there's so many different populations that have a relationship that for them it's theirs. It has become ours, but it's only been 6 years that we've been there. So some of these adults approached us a couple of years ago. They wanted to do something related to the youth programming, because that had been really important. And we had stopped it. We had just stopped it because he couldn't congregate any longer, right? Because of the pandemic. And so we, the new people who were working in the food pantry, really didn't have any memory of this youth program. But they and some members of our board, who had also originally been there for a much longer time than us, started saying we should start a youth program again. And we thought that from the kids who come to the pantry, from the families, that we would get kids from there. So we did, but we also reached out to the public schools to connect us and refer kids who needed free programming. It's a free program. And right now it's only on Saturday afternoons from 2 to 5, but it's run by the adults who were children at Camp Friendship 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we have basketball, and we have an arts and crafts program, which is actually run by the daughter of the founder, who is now an adult. And we do homework help and tutoring in math and reading. There's also a guitar component. We've got some guitars together, and we have a guitar teacher. So, we're cobbling it together. We're starting to raise money. We want to pay the adults who are working. Everybody's been volunteering, but we're building it.
Yeah.
So that's the youth program.
Wow.
And the baseball team, winning champion.
Yes. Well, we fielded a baseball team for decades now.
Yeah.
That never stopped, even during the pandemic. And that was that is still run by a young man who's wonderful. And he went to a high school in Sunset Park, and baseball was, like a lifeline for him. And so he finds those kids who are still at that high school, and we sponsor them. And they are very good athletes, and they win a lot of championships. Wow. So we're fielding 2 teams right now.
Wow.
spring through summer. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize how integral you guys were in terms of doing things outside of the food pantry. And I actually didn't realize I should have known, but Camp Friendship being an actual camp has always been a question of, oh, is it actually a camp? I mean, that's the origin of Camp Friendship. So the fact that there are young people who were a part of that camp who now come back and they help to serve and bring in the next generation of people who are being helped in that same community. I mean, that's the essence of what community is supposed to be about, right? You're just recycling, clearly mentoring, and then bringing on new people and having that legacy continue on and on. That's the beauty of, I think, a good community center, a good community
Well,
space.
interestingly, the camp, there was a camp, an actual building and campgrounds in Maine. And they
Oh,
would take kids up to this camp that was right off of a town called Friendship in Maine. And you'd have to take a ferry across, and it was on an island. And these are kids who, some of them had never taken swimming lessons, had never been
yeah,
in boats. And they lived at this camp, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then other people who were campers became counselors at the camp. And we've gotten to know a lot about the camp
hmm,
because of learning just from talking to some of the old timers, some of the counselors, some of the campers that have come back.
wow, that's incredible. That's
Yeah.
incredible. So food pantry, you have sports programs. Any other services you guys provide or items you provide to your community besides those things?
Part of the food pantry is we're working with the Fifth Avenue Committee to provide English classes.
Oh,
So
wow.
I would say the majority of the people that come to the food pantry speak Spanish,
Hmm.
and many of them are monolingual, not really English speaking.
Hmm.
And so the Spanish classes are held at the same time as the food pantry on Saturday mornings. We have two sessions, a 10 to 12 and a 12 to 2. And that has been fabulous and really, really helpful, I think, I hope. I mean, I've seen the difference from some of the people. We have a lot of people who used to come to the food pantry, still do, but they now help us as volunteers.
Yeah,
So I've seen those people's English get way better, and some of us learn to speak Spanish just
there you go.
because it makes sense to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, Also, we do a back to school giveaway every year. We're in the midst of that. It will be happening this Sunday. We do a turkey giveaway every year and a toy giveaway after we do a massive toy drive. So those are our three huge events.
Wow. So where's all the funding for this stuff come from? Donations? You guys receive funding from the city? How does that work?
For the food pantry, I'll speak to some of that, but Astri has the big piece. Astri does our grant writing. Who
Mm,
knew? We knew nothing about how you get money.
yeah.
There are sources in New York City and New York State that provide funding to food pantries. One is the Food Bank for New York City,
Hmm.
and they make food available to food pantries for free.
Hmm.
You can get a limited amount, and it's all mostly dry food, meaning pasta, rice, sauce, canned beans, canned tuna. But sometimes they will also give a grant, which they've done for us twice, and we can get the pricier items like better rice or oil.
Right.
So that's the food bank. We also have a grant from New York City Human Resources Association that is a large grant that it gives us access to a vendor, a wholesaler named Schreier, and we can order anything we want from there. They have produce and dry food. And then we have state grants that give us produce. Those are smaller grants. They're from New York State. One is strictly New York State products,
Hmm.
and the other is a broader range of products, but it's produce mostly. And that comes through a company that they give the grant to Driscoll, and we order directly from Driscoll and they deliver. So those are our four main food sources, except for this special thing that Astri does.
That's my cue.
That's your cue for the biggie.
The biggie.
Well, we aside from the food-based grants that we get through the city and state and federal government, for produce, we provide produce every week, and which is not an easy thing, and which is really, I think, one of the most important things for visitors to the pantry is getting fresh produce. So throughout the year, we actually purchase that from a local supermarket, and we do that with funds that we've just raised through donations. We get a lot of donations from the community through sometimes larger donations from individuals or corporations or family foundations, and so we can pay for all of that. But we wrote a grant about 3 years ago to Mother Cabrini Health Foundation, which is a Catholic charity, private foundation, and we've developed a relationship with them now. So for 3 years, they have funded us through the summer to buy specifically very local New York State produce from small farms that are primarily women, queer, or BIPOC owned, family owned. I mean, it's very specific because we want to do that. There is this great food movement that's happening right now in upstate New York. And we work with a cooperative in Bed-Stuy called the Brooklyn Packers, or Brooklyn Supported Agriculture. Do you know them?
I don't know them, no.
Okay, but they're amazing. They're Black-led, worker-owned is how they describe themselves. They're a for-profit company, but they have like a direct line to a lot of these farms upstate. And so they create the logistics and the relationships for us, and we pay them through the grant to buy the food from these upstate farms, and it gets brought to us every Friday by them.
Wow.
They use the money that they make, the profits that they make, go towards having a sliding scale CSA, so that they can sell sliding scale throughout the summer to, in Bed-Stuy, to the local, to East New York and Brownsville, and people living and, like creating food sovereignty is how they look at it. So we feel like we're part of this trio of, really powerful forces that are elevating each other and helping communities that need that extra support, that generally have barriers to access.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that you're connected with the community in integral ways, and with a very, very diverse population, a population that actually mimics the people who are coming through your door, right? Sometimes you have places that are just giving, but the people who are inside don't really mimic people who are coming from the outside. So you're connecting with the community in terms of those who are giving and in terms who are the receiving, and there's connection there on both ends. So I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That was part of what we wanted to do, because we do have a largely immigrant population, and we wanted to be sure that we were meeting their needs. And so, we had done some surveys about what kind of produce do you cook with? What are you looking for? Because we can't always, we're always limited. I mean, you're always limited at a supermarket, and you're always limited with farms and the harvest and what they grow as well. But, knowing what learning what their priorities are has really helped us work with the farms that are growing. I mean, a lot of the farms are heritage farms, meaning like they're going back to, original methods of growing, whether it be, like Black farming from 100 years ago, or Asian. We work with an Asian farm they're trying to connect with who are the people living in New York City. And that way they also get to go back to their own roots and bring back these really ethical standards as well. They pay their labor better. Everything about it you know,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
is something that we support.
Yeah. Again, another great friendship circle, right? That goes through. So happy to hear that. And
Mm.
I'm curious, you have so many people who are part of this friendship or this family you have. I know it takes more than just you two to make this work. So,
Yes, for sure.
where do your volunteers come from? Who besides those who've been a part of the camp friendship when they were kids, is able to join and be a part of? I mean, I know we as Spartans and as KBT members help out as well, but that's once a quarter, right? So, who's helping you guys with the daily or the weekly, routines that are necessary to keep camp friendship going?
Well, interestingly, on Friday nights are our big setup night, and it takes a lot of labor. It's carrying in all the heavy produce and the heavy dry food, setting up the tables. I mean, Sean, you've seen it. It's when you appear on Saturday, you have no idea that we've spent more than 2 hours making it look pretty good.
Mm,
Um, that Friday night crew has evolved into people who were almost entirely people that used to come to the food pantry to get their food. So
mm,
little by little, they asked us. One woman came up to me in the post office the other day and said, "Could I please come on Friday night?" Part of the benefit is they get their food at the end of the night and they can take it early and not have to wait in line. But they also do a remarkable job of lifting and laughing. We play the music loud. We figure out a routine to get the food where it needs to go. But that is a really interesting group of people. And that's, I would say, the most fun night, and except when Kingsborough comes on Saturday. The Saturday volunteers are primarily people who have come either originally when this ridiculous Facebook post happened in
mhm.
2020. We still have a core group of them, and people who have come through the website. People who say, I live in the neighborhood. I'd like to do something
Yeah.
decent for people. So they show up. We have a strict number. I mean, we don't want a lot of people coming who have nothing to do. That can just
Mm,
really turn off a volunteer.
yep.
So we do keep it to the right amount of people so people feel like they're doing really good work. But it is mostly neighborhood people. Although more and more, I'm finding people are somehow coming from Queens, from Coney Island,
Midwest.
Midwood.
Wow.
Um, we just have a lot of people who are interested in helping. And
Yeah.
we try to open it up and not have just the same old people who've done
Yep.
it year after year, because it does get kind of stale if you're handing out those tomatoes week after week. And do you want this or this? And
Right.
the spirit isn't there.
Right.
So we just keep inviting people to come and then keep the numbers right somehow. But it is a lot of neighborhood people.
Yeah.
I would even add that some of the original people, it does, it is repetitive and they come every Saturday, but a lot of them don't want to leave.
Oh, that we right. We
We
can't.
do occasionally say,
Right.
"Can you just take the day off so someone else can do it?" And they don't want to. They really love it. Some of them have developed relationships with our visitors. Some of the visitors who come through will like bake them, bring in
Oh,
food
yes.
that they've made as gifts for their
Yeah.
favorite volunteers.
Yeah.
Often with things that they got the week before.
Yeah.
Here's that cabbage I told you I would make for you. And we,
Right.
Like an
Right. Right.
empanada or we've had all
I mean, when you think about it, really is, even though it's like 500 people that come, we have a community there that we've gotten to know, some of them very intimately. I mean, really, their life stories, what their needs are, how we can become more useful. We didn't mention that we have the South Brooklyn Sanctuary there every week, which is a group of immigration lawyers, excuse me, that
Mhm.
help people. Anybody who wants to can sit at their table, ask them questions. They give them referrals. They give them advice. And they're just amazing. It's every week they show up, people line up to talk to them. So it's, it creates more of we're a family and we're trying to give everybody what they need, not just the food.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, incredible. I'm so impressed by how well run the program is. Um, and I have some questions for you now, really just looking at the population of people that come. I
Mm.
mean, I've seen so many walks of life walk through those doors again on the one quarter that we serve there. But like Ashi was talking about, the population that's in Park Slope, although it is affluent, there are many, many people who still belong to different groups of people that, are in need. And depending on what street you're walking on in Park Slope, it changes drastically in terms of the population that you see, especially if you're talking about avenues and streets being different.
Mm.
And even the cross sections of Park Slope being a little different. So when people come from various places to come see you guys, I know some are coming from the actual area and some are coming from further off because they heard about it, right? But like you said, you have immigration attorneys there. My wife being an attorney as well, she actually loved being a part of the immigration lawyer team whenever she's serving because she knows that there's a need for that. So my question for both of you now is, given Caring Friendships, um, prowess in the community and the things you've done, but also knowing that this time is a very challenging time for many who are struggling with not just access to goods like food, but also just being in safe places and not being wary of um, immigration statuses being exposed or just being weary that, them coming to a safe space like this might be a challenge for them based on what's happening in our society now. So, what are some of the things, some of the ways that you prepared your staff, your volunteers to be able to continue the work you've been doing? Because you're doing great work, but I know that sometimes great work like these can sometimes be thwarted by others, depending on where we are. So, what are some of the things you guys have been doing to keep Can Friendship friendly in today's modern day?
Well, another thing we didn't mention is that we have a group of people that stand outside on the sidewalk starting at 6 a.m. every Saturday. And they are watching for ICE and helping to secure the line in case anything happens. And we've distributed whistles and know your rights cards repeatedly. We have also held meetings. The first 100 people or so that come, we've gotten to know them pretty well. They're always there. I don't know what time they come. I imagine 4 or 5 in the morning. And we've invited them in early into the church next door, where we've had conversations about what do we do if there is a group of police or ICE that come and people are lined up, and what do we do about that? And we've talked through with people how you use the whistles, how we communicate with each other, what is a safe space, how and we've talked to the minister at the church about, can we close the doors, is that allowed? And we keep trying to keep this at the forefront, which is easy because we've got these people standing outside every Saturday and they're
Yeah.
talking to them about, their lives, what's going on, and how safe they feel. And it is such a comfort because the people outside are trained. They know exactly what to do and how to move people. So that is one thing that we've done. I don't know, Astri, what else?
Well, I mean, one thing that we're talking to some other
Mm.
organizations about is, if at some point we'll need to be more mobile with our
Mhm.
pantry and get it closer to the people who, for whom it might be really challenging to leave their homes and come too far to Park Slope. And, the highest number of people who come to us come from 2 zip codes in Sunset Park. So it's almost half come from Park Slope, but then, the other almost half comes from these 2 zip codes in Sunset Park. And, so far things have been fine. They know, unfortunately, there's only so much we can do there's only so much we know. I mean, we're just trying to see how much it escalates after what happened in Minneapolis. We're, always wondering, will this happen in New York City? I mean, it is happening to a certain degree, but we feel like if it escalates to a point where people really are unsafe leaving their homes, except for, the most priority things, that we would work on finding a way to move the food closer to them. So that's something that we're working on. We haven't done that yet, and we hope we won't have to. But we do rely on them to also to let us know what's happening, because we don't really know. We are cut off from that
Right.
terrible experience.
Yeah. But again, the fact that you guys are even thinking about these things lets me know that you're on the forefront of what, again, communities should be doing. And the fact that you're connected with this church that's close to you makes my heart feel really warm as well, because there's a connection there with that body of faith. And, a lot of communities, even at my church, right? We would love to do something like this. We don't have the manpower, we don't have the resources to do it. But that's why we connect with you, because you guys are already doing those things. And I can tell just from talking to you guys for the last couple of years, you just have the kindness of your heart. You actually really want people to feel good and to feel like they have a place to go to. And, I look at what's happening around the world, and I just see that there are not many places that are safe. But Camp Friendship feels super safe every time we go. And I'm sure the number of people who are around the corner also feel that same way. And that's why they keep coming back. Even with what's happening around the world, they say, you know what? We can go here and not feel like this is a space for us that's going to be threatening. It's a space that's safe. So, I just want to, again, give you guys kudos and congrats for making this a place where people can come from Sunset Park and Prospect Park, everywhere, just be able to receive the services that they are entitled to. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Listen, I know a number of people hear about Camp Friendship. I know you guys have a website, but for those who might not know or might not have access to websites and such, how do people hear about you guys? Besides word of mouth from some of the people who come already, do you guys advertise? Do you guys canvas in the areas? How does that work?
We are, I think we're, I mean, anyone can come, and we won't turn anyone away unless we run out of food. But we're almost at capacity, really. The word of mouth is the most powerful thing, because that's people know who want to come to a food pantry. Once they start coming, they know, they tell their friends, they tell their neighbors. We don't advertise. I mean, we are on every list. New York City, there are various organizations and the city government that have lists of food pantries and their hours and when they're open. And so we're on all of those lists. So if people are, looking for that. But
also, we have people that sit at tables during the hours of the food pantry asking for donations of food or of money. And a lot of people come to those tables and say, how can I get this? Where is your pantry? So it's not just, that's our only source of publicity, I would say, is just those people that stand at those tables for hours and hours, and they're just there. They love to talk to people because it gets a little boring.
Right.
we have almost 500 households coming through, and we also deliver to about 60 homebound households a week. So it's a lot. We're doing as much as we can. I mean, we'd like to do more, and we're always trying to figure out, how can we expand? How can we get more food, have longer hours? But we're also sharing the building with rentals, the Department of Education, and a pre-K school. And anyway, so yeah, we're limited. And despite our limitations, I mean, I think, as we said, we're between like 500, 530 households.
Right. And when you say households, that's not people, that's households.
That's right.
How many people are you really envisioning or anticipating? How many people do you think, just a rough estimate in terms of an actual number?
We know, because Astri has to submit the numbers every month.
I can tell you, I was just looking at our statistics, and from this past Saturday, it was like almost 5,500 people.
Wow.
Because we know how many in each family.
Yeah, we have a breakdown of how many people in each
Wow.
family, how many seniors, adults, children. And a lot of those people are recurring visitors. They come
Yeah.
every week, and we also sign up new every week. We sign up new people come in, 10 to
Hmm.
15 people. They may never come back. They may come back. They come from a lot of the family shelters, aside from the ones who actually
Mm.
live in the neighborhood and are coming from Sunset Park. There's some
Yeah.
family shelters in the area, so those people will often come, and then we won't see them again,
Right.
because they might not be in our neighborhood for very long.
Right. Right. Wow. Over 5,000 people. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we don't, unlike I think most pantries, we don't ask for any identification. We
Mm.
ask people, we're required by the food pantry, the food bank, to have people fill out a form. It's name, phone number, address, how many adults, seniors, and children. And as we say to them, we don't care what you say on here.
Right.
What your name is, they'll pull out their license to show us I'm really real, and we don't care. You just
Yeah.
fill out this form however you want to fill it out, and that, don't tell anybody that.
Yeah.
But we do not ask for identification.
That started though with the pandemic, because everything shut down, and there was this feeling of emergency, of like food insecurity.
Yeah.
And we all agreed from the beginning. We said, let's not ask people what their income is. If people come to a food pantry,
Mm.
you just got to respect that
Yeah.
they think they need it. And
Yeah.
that's all. That's the criteria for us. We don't want to tell people. A lot of the people, I will tell you, who come, the majority of people who come through are working. Many of them have multiple jobs. They're just over the threshold for receiving SNAP or WIC. So they can't get benefits
Right.
because they're working, but
Yeah.
they're the working poor. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
so we never wanted to create like a barrier to them being able to come and get, food that they need.
Yeah. Again,
A lot of,
I love it. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lisa.
a lot of people arrive on their delivery bikes. There's a
Mm.
lot of delivery people. What kind of breaks my heart is when we get people from the post office in uniform, RNs, registered nurses.
Mm.
We're very close to a big hospital, Methodist hospital,
Mhm.
and we get an awful lot of people coming through with their badges on from the
Mm.
hospital. I'm
Mhm.
thinking, these are union workers. This is terrible.
Yeah.
But it's also good food. So
Yeah.
I like to think sometimes people maybe just come because it's good food. I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
As I said, we don't ask. We don't say, you work at this hospital, you must make this much money. No.
We all
Right.
We
know
don't.
that we're living in a high inflation time, and
Yeah.
that
And we don't.
meeting all of the required payments like rent and food and
Yeah.
clothes for your kids. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot.
And,
So
and we're finding more and more, we don't know anything about anything. Once you get beneath the surface of somebody, and we
Mhm.
do, we find out, there are 10 people living in that house.
Right.
And sometimes these come and go, and then my sister's going to come with her 3 kids, and this, we it's very I don't know, revealing about how privileged some of us are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So every time we come, whether it's Kingsborough Temple or our Spartan Sunday Run Club, we always have a little debrief back at our church about the experience and how it was. And I remember sharing this last time. I said, I've never had to stand in line for anything. I've been privileged enough and blessed enough to not have to do that. But for someone to take the courage to say, I'm gonna go out there, like you said, at 4:30 in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning and stand on the line, the humility that comes with that, right? To say, you know what, I need help. I need assistance, and I'm gonna do whatever I have to do. As humbling as it is to go out here and receive whatever is given to me and
Mm.
make that work. That to me is something that, I thank God I've never had to experience, but for those who had to go through that, I salute them also because that is the embodiment of the human experience to say, you know
Hmm.
what, I know I need this for myself, for my family. I will do whatever it takes for us to get week to week to survive. And I'm just privileged enough that I haven't had to go through that. But for those who have had to go through that, my heart pours out to them. And I know for you both, this is something that is near and dear to your hearts. So
Absolutely.
I gotta edit what I said earlier because the first person I spoke to was Tony.
Ah,
Only the first person I spoke to when I came to Camp Friendship, and he was the one who was like, "Hey, we're doing this stuff. I'm busy. What's going on?" And I said, "Hey, you wanna help out in some way?" And he was just like, "Yeah, here's my card. Email me. You can talk to Lisa. She runs the whole thing. Astri, whatever else." And he was just in it. And I know he passed away, so shout out to Tony and for those who knew him. But I'm curious for you, and even if you want to share a little bit about him, what inspires you all to do this? Because it's something that, again, is labor of love. And I have people on the show who do labors of love in various ways. But this is something that you guys have been doing for years on end, and you do it every single week. So what inspires you to be able to want to go out there and do this for others?
well, I'm old. I mean, I'm 75 now, and I worked a lot in my life, and I've sort of come to this realization that serving, whatever that means, is what makes me happy. And sometimes serving is dealing with floods in Camp Friendship or in the church next door. Um, or sometimes serving is helping somebody out with a jacket because it's cold out. And it just somehow feels like this is what we're supposed to do, or I'm supposed to do. And it always feels right. It's not even something I'm conscious of, except when it gets annoying because I order the food and I sometimes do a terrible job. But
Never.
once the
But
people
it's
come
hard.
in, it's
Hard
hard.
work.
But once those people walk in the door, and Sean, you know as well as anybody, once that music goes on and the
Yeah,
people come in, all the mistakes, all the craziness, all the preparation, it all disappears. It
yeah.
is There's something about the family of it. And of course, I just have to say for all the people who are going to hear this, when Kingsborough or the Spartan Run Club is there, it is a different energy. It is so much higher level energy. And this is not to say anything negative about our volunteers week after week, but there is something so magical about when you walk through the door and make it, the whole place just rocks. I mean, sometimes the music is just too much. It's so much fun.
Mm,
But that is, I think, why I do it. I don't know. Who knows?
yeah, I'll take that, Astri.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a social worker by training, so
Mm,
I think I've always been drawn to this kind of work. Um, I'm very affected by politics, and I've been very sort of immersed in, what happens, policies, those larger issues, which is why I've come to really like grant writing. But I think that, as Lisa pointed out, when you're one on one performing acts of kindness with people who are responding and are kind back to you, it's a very powerful experience, and it's not a cliche.
mm,
I think the so I yeah, I think it's a very fulfilling experience getting to know people, helping them, and knowing that, I mean, we work in a place where we don't say no. It's everything is, what do you need? How can we help you?
yeah.
And it's powerful.
Mm,
It's very motivating.
mm.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm inspired by both of you. I'm inspired by Camp Friendship, and again, congrats on 50 years of being in the community, giving back to others, and continuing to make a difference in people's lives. Again, over 5,000 people on average. You guys are literally touching every single week, and many places can't even say they're touching 5 people. So you guys are doing an amazing job, and I just want to applaud you. Give you
Thank
kudos
you.
good. Um, and my last question for both of you is, we talked about the partnerships you have in the community, talked about who's already helping volunteer-wise, us and others, but how can others help support Can Friendship? What do you need from others to do to make sure Can Friendship can be successful in the future?
Um, we have I mean, we have these drives all the time, not all the time, but several times a year, as Lisa said. We always need help with that. I mean, we do need money. That's just the reality of running this kind of thing. So we're always, looking for donations, recurring donations. People can send us through Zelle or through their, DAFs or that sort of thing. We want people to drop in, to get to know us. We have a pancake breakfast, for instance, coming up on September 27th. And we're going to be raising funds to help with the youth program going forward. So, come onto the website, sign up for our emails.
Another way I think of helping is partnerships. I mean, this Kingsborough coming in opened up a whole new world for us. We bank with certain banks, and we're trying to make them understand that you should be our partners. You should help us out. We're a block away from you.
Yeah.
We have some wonderful partnerships. Fifth Avenue Committee, the Fifth Avenue Bid, Old Stonehouse, lots and lots of great partnerships. But I'm just mad at the banks because they should be saying, we owe you. We want to help, but that's probably not going to happen. But partnerships are really so essential to us keeping going.
They've been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're looking into now, we're talking to, like CVS, for instance, or, there are restaurants in the area that want to work with us.
We just have a new woman who started bringing us day-old bread from some of the fancier places in New York City. Russ and Daughters, she brings us, I don't know, 500 bagels. Probably more than that, every Friday night. Some other bakery called She Wolf that I've never heard of, but it's beautiful bread. And it's kind of, now she is our partner. We never heard of her, but she collects all this food from all over the city and then brings it to different food pantries.
Yeah, you never know. People crawl out of the woodwork and come in and say, "I can do this," and I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think one of our key needs that's been harder to organize is diapers and feminine hygiene, period products and adult diapers. Those are things that that people really need, that are very hard to.
Okay.
Very expensive diapers for kids. There was an organization called the Brooklyn Diaper Project that was giving us thousands of diapers.
That's
3 times a
25,000
year.
Yeah.
25,000 diapers a year. It was so exciting when that truck would roll up, and we'd have them for months to give away. And then they decided to go in another direction. It was from some foundation, these fabulous people, but they are no longer dealing with diapers. So that ended.
So if anyone listening has a diaper connection, they want to.
Or even diapers, a pack of diapers is what, $16, $20 for 10.
Yeah.
That's just too much for people.
Yeah.
So every week, at least 5 people will come and whisper, Tanny Pumpers, do you have diapers? And say no. Or we have 1 pack of newborn. That's not really that helpful for a 4-year-old.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And adult diapers, whoa, they go immediately.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, these are expenses that people, don't realize are luxuries. They're necessities, but they're treated as luxuries at the stores, the way they're
Yeah.
Right.
priced. So anyway,
Well, we have advertised the diaper need at our church.
yes.
Yes,
So I hope
yes.
you
And
will
we've
continue.
received.
Yes, and they will continue to go out
Great.
there and collect diapers for you guys. We're right down the street. But yeah, like you said, these small things that we take for granted, these are the things
Yeah.
that people are really in need of. So putting it out there in any way possible is fantastic. Um, I'm going to direct people to your website then, right?
Great.
campfriendshipbrooklyn.org, and they can donate there. They can give or and get more information from you guys directly on that. Is that okay? Does that work?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Excellent.
That's great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, listen, ladies, again, I am so impressed by you, so thankful for you, and again, so impressed by what you've done in the community. Um, and I'm happy to call you both friends. And
Yes.
I hope that
And
we do more things together in the
yeah.
future.
Well,
Um,
this Saturday,
that's right.
this is I'm so excited every time when you take over the Saturday. It really it changes the whole walls just vibrate. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
well,
so
that's
lucky, Sean. Thank you. Thank you so
We
much
are
for everything you
lucky
do for us.
to have met you, and all the
Yeah.
Kingsborough and the Spartan
yeah.
Seniors Club has really been a gift for us.
No
Mm.
problem. It
You
really is
give
our
a lot
pleasure. It's
to
our
our
pleasure. And to be honest, just as we close, one of the things that is beautiful for us is that we wanted to give back. We wanted to be a part of something bigger in the community, and we didn't want to just start doing things on our own. So we said, let's not reinvent the wheel. Who's already doing great things? And you guys were just there. So we're not doing much. We're just really doing what you're doing and helping you do what you've already done for the last
Well,
50 years.
that
So
is
we're
so
happy to be a part of your
valuable.
family. Yeah, very, very thankful.
your
So
support is very
Thank
important
you.
to us.
no problem. Ladies, I appreciate you. One last applause for you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
we will see you
This
on
weekend.
Saturday.
yeah,
Okay.
All right.
Goodbye.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
This was fun.
no
Bye
problem.
bye.
Folks, they said so many poignant things. I mean, it was amazing connecting with them. And I'm inspired. I'm inspired by all the great things that they've done, continue to do. Camp Friendship is an amazing facility. It's an amazing organization. So many connections to the community. I'm just happy to be a part of it. So if you want to give to Camp Friendship also, website is very simple, campfriendshipbrooklyn.org. You can go on the website and donate. You can go on the website and volunteer. They're doing great things in the community at all times. So if you're looking for a place to be a part of, that is the place. That is the place. And don't forget a quote from today, folks. Walking with a friend in the dark is better than walking alone in the light by Helen Keller. Let's go out there and be friendlier. Let's go out there and connect better. Let's go out there and be friends with those who are around us. We all are in need, or we will be in need at some point in time for something. Just because you have things now doesn't mean you're not going to have something or an issue down the line. So use this time to be friendlier to others, because you never know when it might be you in someone else's shoes going through something that you did not expect. And that's my quote and my charge for you for this week. We'll see you guys next time. Continue to be great. Continue to Nix and Fix in 26. And I will see you when I see you. All right? Peace.